Welcome back to WCS America Premier League Group F action. We already know one player that is going to make it to the round of 16, and that is Alicia. After he just broke the meta, he showed us a whole new style of Protoss. Nate, every now and then you think you've seen it all. We have seen nothing yet.
We have seen nothing. I'm still holding out for someone to innovate the Neo Steel Bunker Rush for Terran now. After seeing +1 air weapons, I believe anything is possible.
You mean like the building armor?
No, bunker capacity.
Oh.
6 Marines in a bunker, man. I'm telling you. Someone's gonna crank that one out next.
I can see it happen. Either way, we are getting ready for our final series of the day. It's going to be a big one. Illusion is going to get his shot at revenge at TooDming. And how often do we see this, Nate? We went over this in the start of the day. You know, someone loses the first series of the day. They'll play that player again in the deciding series. And how often don't they win? It's going to be very difficult though. We are of course playing on the North American server, so that's a small advantage for Illusion. And Illusion definitely stepped it up in game 2 and 3 against Henderlisk. I think he played very well. However, TooDming is a very dangerous opponent.
Yes, he is. Honestly, after seeing his macro in that series versus Alicia, I'm super scared for Illusion. I don't think that there's a reason why... I don't think there's any crazy reason why TooDming beat Illusion the first time they played in this group. And honestly, I'd be really surprised if Chris was able to pull this one out. This TooDming looks absolutely stellar. I was, we were on the brink of seeing TooDming defeat Alicia in that final game, that final absurd game. But I don't know if there's anything else to say really. Chris has to bust out some more crazy builds. Maybe break out that Hellbat build versus TooDming.
Well, I was just exchanging some words with Chris on BattleNet, and you know what he said? Watch this. Nate, I'm ready already. I'm already getting all excited.
My body is ready.
This is. I have the feeling that we're going to see something bizarre in this series. Of course, a lot on the line, a lot of prestige. Chris, either way, we're going to have a first non-Korean making it into WCS America round of 16, which is awesome. Then again, we only had one Korean in this group. And of course, we have absolutely nothing against Koreans, but it's also cool to see someone else other than just the people from Korea making it. We're going to have a Chinese Zerg player or an American Terran player make it to the round of 16. In the upcoming days, we have a few awesome other foreigners in action as well. Major is still playing. And on the final day, we also have Suppy, DEA Suppy, I believe. I think he can go very far.
Yeah, Suppy is going to try to carry the American torch if Illusion can't make it. And as far as, a watch this goes, Habitation Station is a map where there's lots of things Terran can do, not just lifting off your command center, of course. It's a pretty short rush distance, so maybe there's something we don't know about coming our way.
Yeah, this is really interesting as well, because Habitation Station was the first map of the day as well, when Illusion faced off against TooDming a couple of hours ago. That didn't go all that well for him. Even though we went over this, we analyzed the game, and we do feel that if one or two things would have gone slightly different that game, we could have perhaps been looking at a completely different outcome. Hey, if you win game 1 in this series, there's no telling what happens in game 2 and 3. StarCraft 2 is a very mental game as well. It's a lot about momentum, and the Illusion already told us, watch this. Well, I want to watch it. My body's ready. I hear it. Things are flying behind me. Watch this, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into game. As we can already see that our command center is making... I'm going to try to get the moving flag. Over here on the left up side of the map, cruising to space at a nice altitude. It is our American Terran player, Illusion. Boom. How cool is that?
That's beautiful.
That's the most beautiful thing I've seen today.
That's beautiful. Bringing the American flag into space with him.
Not the first time. Do you know that right now, after all these years, because of the radiation of Earth, all the flags that America has planted on the moon are now white. So someone said, now it seems like the French went to the moon first.
I actually did not know that.
You don't get the joke either. We do love French people.
Oh! Do we have Little in chat today?
Probably. He's probably cursing at us already. Either way, over here on the right top side of the map, we have a very exciting and very fun French Zerg, sorry, not French, damn it. Chinese Zerg player. It is TooDming, representing Zenith of Origin. Do you like the joke now, Nick?
I don't know. I got nothing. It's too high level for me, Kev. So Overlord sees, so he knows. And we saw what he did last time, which was nothing in particular special. Do you think maybe Chris told us? You think he says this could be an interesting game because he's planned out something in case it's just another hatch first?
Well, I mean, so far everything is the same, right? We see the second Rex go down near the Zelnaga Watchtower as well. It's kind of cool because this little SUV takes control of the Zelnaga Watchtower as well. I did not even know that if you build a building next to a Zelnaga Watchtower, that you're basically still holding the Zelnaga Watchtower.
You still got to be close enough to it, though. Like, he moved away.
It's kind of weird because normally you would say like, hey, you have to do one thing. Either you have the Zelnaga Watchtower or you're building a Rex.
Yeah.
Oh, what? There's another Rex going down. Okay, so this
Here
is a
we
little
go,
different.
Kev.
And this time TooDming has scouted that Rex as well, so he's very well aware of what's going on.
I want to see him supply drop on his first depot. Just go ham.
Orbital command is quite late, but we'll see.
You know, 3 racks Marine attack. Oh, look at that. He's already bringing drones. He saw that third barracks and he's like, no. Not going to happen this game, buddy. But that spawning pool's almost done as well. And I guess the third barracks worth of Marine production could be enough to break this. It's just, I mean, it's not going to be easy by any means.
I think that Illusion wants to get multiple bunkers up on top of this ramp, and I think TooDming is very well aware of that potential threat, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't have to worry about this. But needless to say, I think this is going to be a much shorter game than the previous one. This is a type of game where Illusion has to make stuff happen almost immediately. We see 2 bunkers go down. 10 Zerglings though. 10 Zerglings should be enough, Nate. Or you know, he's going to put Marines in his choke point, right?
Maybe. I think there's too much. He could always worker drill through. He's waiting. He's going to try to get the bunkers to finish, but his Marine production might just not be enough. I mean, obviously he's dragging these drones out pretty damn far, though.
He is, but there are still so many Zerglings on the production depot as well. These Marines will get caught off there, and all bunkers are forced to be cancelled. And this is pretty dark now for Chris.
Don't cheese TooDming, man.
TooDming is pretty good at this thing called defending cheese. There are still a few Marines in the Zelnaga Watchtower. We could always have more Marines in the potential SCV pool as a follow-up. There is another barracks going down. This feels like PLO's game a long time ago on Zelnaga Caverns. We made like 7 racks. Much across the map.
Ye old 6 racks, 6, 7, however many you can fit in your base. Of course, this is one of those maps where you don't really have too much space to build a base.
There are barracks just scattered all over the place.
Hey, he's walled them off if he tries to run through there.
And we got rhymes for days.
Yeah, man.
By accident. So many rhymes. Did you hear that?
Yeah, great at killing time.
Anyway, these Zerglings are going to see these 2 additional wrecks as well. So if I was TooDming right now, I'd throw up another spine and maybe even one more. The more spines, the merrier. Because it doesn't really matter. All he has to do is just survive and then stabilize. And he's going to be fine. He's going to be 1 base ahead of his opponent. Well, we do still have a few leg spikes, unfortunately.
I mean, this could work.
He's down 9
Marines,
workers.
dude. You ever seen these things? They shoot really fast. They do a lot of damage. I don't know.
He's finished his barracks. So, I mean, yeah, spine crawlers, I guess the more he builds, the better. Eventually, though, I think this is a situation where you want to get some banelings. I don't know.
Yeah, banelings would definitely be fantastic, but I still think that's just spine crawlers and queens on the high ground. Let's not forget, this is a ramp as well. There's no high ground vision. He's going to have to step on creep. I do think a couple of banelings indeed would just be the icing on the cake, and that would definitely seal the deal. We'll see. If Illusion is able to make this work well, then he definitely surprises me. Are the SUVs being pulled yet?
Yep.
Well, there are not a whole lot to be pulled, but the few
Choo-choo,
SUVs...
Roddy.
You know, those SUVs are good in soaking up damage. You know what, Nate? I believe.
Well, he's bringing the drones already. He's coming up the ramp, and none of these spine crawlers have been taken down yet. He's taking out most of the Zerglings. First spine being targeted, but all the SCVs are gone, and these Marines get smashed down. His economy is, well, what economy? I think this one may be all over but the crying, Kev.
I think so as well. Just great defense there by TooDming, having plenty of spine crawlers, also pulling the drones, just to be sure. And what I also loved is he was still using his spine crawlers to shoot at those Marines, or to focus the Marines down. He's like, if you just attack move, then those spines might actually attack the SCVs because they were closer to them. But obviously the SCVs don't put out as much damage as the Marines do, so he focused fired the Marines with his spines and just did a great job there and made it look easy in the long run.
Yep. He hasn't had any difficulty with this at all. Illusion's still going to try to crank out as many Marines as he can. I really don't know where he's going to go from here. I guess he just builds more Marines and tries to kill them. Yeah. That's about all you really can do at this point. He doesn't have anything to... You don't transition out of this.
No, TooDming is probably aware of that as well. He's like, what can I expect? Probably just more Marines, because he's on 6 racks and he's on 1 base. The Overlord is going to peek in as well, and he sees there are still a few SCVs. You know, the income is still actually a little close. Obviously, TooDming is out mining Illusion now, but Illusion is still mining enough to produce a lot of Marines, 4, 5, 6 at a time in general, but there's just so many spines, more spines going up. Now the mailing nest is going down as well.
And I think with 5 spines, a gajillion Zerglings, some Banelings.
Spines.
I mean, he's building the Great Wall of China here, Kev.
And it's a scarier Great Wall. It's the upgraded Great Wall.
Yeah,
it actually attacks. It's not just a wall.
In Age of Empires, like, you had to take forever to kill them, but in this game, the wall fights back.
Well, Illusion is going to go for it once again. You know, kill the Zerg or die trying.
YOLO. This is a perfect moment for that. Coming up the ramp. Zerglings, yeah, they're going to die, but as the drones come in, there's still 5 spines going ham on this force. First one is killed, but Illusion, do you have enough to break through the rest? The second spine is killed, but GG is called. TooDming is going to take the first map, and I know, I don't know. That was a rough game for Chris. TooDming just reacted perfectly. Like, if Illusion has maybe 2-3 more Marines when those drones come down with the Zerglings, maybe he can push it back, but no.
TooDming does not
Perfect reaction timing.
Yeah, he does not underreact. He overpulls slightly, but it's better to overpull than to underpull, because then if you lose the drones, then things will backfire. The Marines stay alive and they can maybe hop into a bunker. But he pulls so many that he leaves the Zerglings at home to just clean up the rest. And if he gets lucky, he's able to surround the Marine or two, and he gets it as well. Just the Marine count is never high enough in the early stage in the game. And he also, I think it was very fortunate that he scouted those 3 additional Rexes with those 2 Zerglings that were running around.
You have to build those spines.
It is already hard to transition out of a gold-based expand, or taking them. It's not really an expand. Taking the gold as your main. Even though Chris tried to do it earlier, so perhaps he was able to catch TooDming off guard if those Rexes wouldn't have been scouted, because TooDming might have been talking like, hey, early today he tried to transition. He might just do the same thing all over again, and this time it would have been different. Would have been a lot of Marines. If it was just a single spine, it could have worked, but against 3 spines and drones being pulled and a queen there, just not going to happen.
Unfortunately, not. What is the second map for this series? Looks like it's. I think from what I've seen, it looks like Frost.
Yep.
Okay.
It is going
Makes
to be
sense.
Frost.
I would be surprised if it was anything else.
Earlier today, we saw Illusion bust out a really cool build against Henderlisk on Frost. There is a possibility that he might go for something like that again. I'm not sure if TooDming has been watching the games in the break. I do think he has, because when I saw him at WCS America round of 16, he was pretty much watching every single game of WCS. So I guess when his own group is on, he'll definitely be watching as well.
Yeah, hopefully. This map, right? This could be the last map of the day. TooDming has played super well. If Chris, that's like when you talk about one of like a skateboard trick. He's like, watch this, and you kind of like you try to do like a kickflip or something, and you fall on your face. And I know Chris is really good, but TooDming just made him look silly trying a crazy build like that. Like, that was, I don't know. That's like when I try to do crazy builds like that, and you're like, oh, let's go. You're like, I got this sick of like 20 submarines, and there's like 5 spines, 20 lings. Like, no.
Yeah, the worst thing is
happening.
when you're really excited about it as well. You're like,
Yeah,
I got this really cool build, guys, and then like 7 roaches march across the map. Well, that's not supposed to happen. Let's try it again. It's like, oh,
yeah.
I don't know what's
feel like
wrong.
I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Guys, check this out. Oh, next game. Oh, man.
Well, we'll see. It's still possible. Early today, he really stepped it up in game 2 and 3 against Henderlisk, and there's a realistic possibility that is going to happen once more. But TooDming is very good. Of course, at game 3 against Alicia was a little silly. Don't judge him on that. He can do way better. I think he showed us as well in game 2. And overall, he's just a scary Zerg. He's a macro monster. In general, he's very fast as well, so it's going to be really tough for Illusion. But I hope he can do it.
I would hate to play a Terran versus Zerg against a guy that gets on 5 bases by 12 minutes. Like,
Yes.
Imagine if you could do that versus Terran. That's nightmarish. Okay, so we're just about ready to get this one underway. On Frost, I think Illusion definitely has a, this is one of the maps where he can try to take advantage of a build like that again, but the spawns may not also favor him quite as much. For example, this like if he's not in that vertical position where he can hellbat drop straight to the 3rd base, I think it's a lot harder to get early pressure done, especially if it's cross. I would say that could just be the worst start possible on this map for Illusion. So we'll have to see.
Earlier, he had his vertical spawn locations. Do you think that's the best for his build, or maybe horizontal?
Oh, yeah. Vertical, like when you play Frost, vertical spawns are okay versus Zerg. Horizontal spawns are great. I love it. The last thing you want to do is play cross spawn, because it's very difficult to push the creep away once it starts to get towards halfway across the map because there's a lot of different alleys the Zerg can use to run towards you. But if you're on the vertical spawns on the right side, you send your medevacs up, you push up, everything just goes up, and you can expand like kind of up towards the Zerg player as well. We'll have to see how exactly he handles what he gets, but yeah, definitely better. Anything's better than cross spawns for Terran on this map.
Well, we will figure out in a couple of moments what is it going to be. Does Illusion have what it takes to even up this series? Or is TooDming, just like last season, going to make it to WCS America Premier League round of 16? And then it would repeat itself as well from yesterday, where our 2 Premier League players, not yesterday, last Wednesday, 2 Premier League players advance again. The game is up and running, and as we can see over here on the left top side of the map, we have our Chinese Zerg player. He's currently up 1-0 in this series. It is TooDming.
TooDming up 1-0 after a solid hold of that gold base 6 racks, whatever you want to call it, all in from our Terran player.
Racks on racks on racks on racks.
Yeah. Yep. In the top right, the blue Terran representing Root Gaming. It is Illusion. You know what's a cool illusion? The
Tell me.
font on the player name, the top right. You don't know if it's 3 L's, 3 I's, or a mix. Could be any. It could be any mix.
It is an optical illusion.
Yeah.
It's crazy, Nate. I've never thought about it like that.
That's the highest level of meta we can get here at WCS America.
That's pretty deep. We'll see. TooDming is sending his first Overlord to the south side of the map. So this OV is not heading into the right direction, which is nice news for Illusion. Will most likely not change a whole lot. And by the looks of it, Nate, there's going to be a command center first opening again. So that is similar to what he did earlier today against Enderlisk.
Yeah. Already showing that he wants to at least take charge economically on this map, which does make, as you said, a lot of sense. Hatchery first from TooDming. I would be surprised if we had anything else. And the first Overlord for TooDming will also not see that Illusion has built this command center. Like normally, if there were vertical spawns, this Overlord would see the command center pretty much right as it starts. So a little bit less information. I really like the horizontal spawns because it gives you a direct path to the Zerg, but also if you can hold once you get your third base up, you're not really far from that tower. And if you hold the tower, that's the halfway point, and the creep doesn't get to you. It's very hard for that to push towards you.
I couldn't agree more, but of course it's going to be hard for our Illusion to actually get there. But he played fantastic. Also, even in Game 3 as well on King's Young Station, I felt that was a really solid game. It's all about surviving and getting into a normal state in the game, and then we can truly see how well he will match up against TooDming. Of course, those silly games on Habitation Station, it's all fun and games, but in the end, you know, you do lose a very, very important map. It would be really painful if Illusion wins this map and then loses the next one, which is might be a close macro game, and you have to look back and it's like, man, I lost 2 silly games on Habitation Station that were, technically speaking, not even real games.
Yeah, that's but you know, that's taking into consideration that he pretty much brought that upon himself.
Of course.
Yeah, with the build order choice. So
He definitely did, but it's still something to think about.
yeah, command center's finishing up. Gonna start the Marine. He's got his gas. I guess the big question, Kev, is when does the second gas come up? And I think this Overlord here for TooDming is in a really good position to see that second gas. If he moves in, he can know whether or not there's some sort of aggressive 2-base play. Although Illusion has done this quasi-aggressive play off of, you know, the 3 command center setup as well.
The Overlord is going to peek in. No, actually, I thought it was on a move command, but it's not. I guess he's afraid of losing it. I'm not sure, because he's not sure yet that actually Illusion is spawning on the right top side of the map, even though 2 Zerglings will confirm that soon. As the factory is more than halfway done, everything looks relatively standard. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on this refinery, as we want to know, is Illusion going to bust out the same crazy Hellbat build as he did earlier today? Or is it just going to be a solid macro build?
2 extra barracks being added on by Illusion. He's going to go for the same map he did on Way Station versus Hendrilisk in their series. And I love this build. I mean, I'm not particularly fond of using it myself, but this is one of those attacks that absolutely obliterates greedy Zergs. If you do not have, like, okay, just say straight up, if you don't have a Baneling Nest, this attack kills you. Almost 100% of the time. But look at this, double gas. This could be a setup for a 2-base Roach play, actually.
Yeah,
really
which would work relatively well for Illusion as well, especially if he's still sitting at home, because he's producing way more units than a Zerg normally expects in this phase in the game. But we'll see where he takes this. This SCV didn't really get the scout of it. Actually, didn't even see the hatch. I'm not sure if he caught a glimpse of that drone, but I guess it doesn't change that much because right now Illusion pretty much wants to do.
Ideally, in this situation, so the third gas is being taken. Ideally, TooDming takes, for Illusion, is TooDming takes 2 evolution chambers in front of his natural, and is just playing greedy, right? Starts a late speed or gets speed, then 2 evolution chambers, then his lair. A fast lair won't work against this because your Mutalisks aren't going to save you. You need to have preparation. You need to know what's coming. Bailey Nest, like the lair starting now. I almost feel like there has to be a Roach Warren going up soon without Zergling speed. And the Roach attack can hit in time to stop this, but this might actually even hit before Roach timing. He's getting combat shield, not stim.
Alright, there's a Roach Warren being morphed in now. TooDming still completely unaware of what is happening in this phase or on this side of the map. He's going to see these 4 Hellions and he might get tricked that there is nothing to worry about, but there definitely is. With 2 more Hellions on the way and above all Marauder production, he's going up to 8 Hellions. Yes, he is. Even now there are 2 more Hellions on the way. Of course, for Chris, it's important, Illusion that is, that he keeps these Hellions alive, don't lose them to something silly. Or swing in and kill 10 drones like he did against Henderalisk, but it's unlikely that that is going to happen.
Yeah, this is going to be really tricky because once that Roach count starts going up, this attack gets much, much less powerful. Since even though like, he's going to have combat shield, so the Marines will take another hit. It's just tricky because Roaches have a lot of hit points themselves, and I don't think there's many Marauders, just 1 on the map going with this push. So Illusion's going to need really good control, and even that is not the easiest thing to get when you're playing without stim.
Well, we'll see. These queens are one queen is a little bit out of position, might actually get picked up, but no, it's going to make its way back to creep. That overlord gets picked up, that could be annoying, but plenty of Roaches are on their way. Hellions have to be very careful. Good transfuse so far by TooDming.
Yep, Illusion's pushing up the ramp. I like that he actually brought a few SCVs here. You know, whether or not they're for repairing or just tanking a few hit points, it's quite nice. Oh, these Marines caught kind of without their meat shield here. He's going to step up. Good transfuses from TooDming to keep some of these Roaches alive. And Illusion's actually rallying across the map. He's really committing with this. This is such a weird timing because once that 1-1 finishes...
The SCVs are helping so much as well.
Once that 1-1 finishes for TooDming, though, it becomes so much easier to defend against this attack, and he's hitting him from both directions. He gets a volley off on the rocks and not the army, and I think Illusion has been stalled.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I really like bringing in a couple of those SCVs because they were neglecting a lot of damage, a lot of unanswered damage by just repairing those Hellions over and over again, and even repairing each other for a while. But in the end, TooDming does muster out enough Roaches. He has 21 now already against non-stimmed bio. It's beautiful.
Yeah, these Hellions are not even able to run in. But look at this, 1-1 complete for the Roaches, right? Like these Marines, that +1 upgrade, the Marine takes like 9 extra hits to kill a Roach. If he goes across the map and counters now with Roach speed and these upgrades, stopping this is going to be super difficult. Yeah, there's some Widow Mines. There's a Marauder or 2 now.
I still think with the amount of units that he already has out, it should be doable.
Yeah, it's going to be all about how well this engagement goes for TooDming, the repair timing. The Marauder getting caught definitely hurts.
He was the chosen one. TooDming is still making nothing but Roaches, so he's definitely committing to this. And I also feel that this is a way back into this game. Good use of the Overseer there as he's able to pick up those 2 Widow Mines. But there's still a lot of units, and without Banelings, this has to be a little tricky to bust. Like, it's not as easy as it normally is.
No, it's a bit awkward. He's setting the Roaches up to bait the Widow Mine shots. He's going to take out this bunker. And the Marauder there will die as well, but he's already pulling a lot of SCVs to defend against this. A lot of supply depots can get forfeit. Picking off some SCVs as well. This is still really, really tricky because TooDming is building on a lead, and as long as Illusion doesn't get a crazy amount of bio with Stim and Medivacs, he should be okay. I don't even think there's a starport on the map, no.
He's losing all these supply depots as well, and that is a little frustrating. That's going to supply block Illusion soon, so maybe fighting is not even that bad right now. All of these Roaches getting very close to these Marines. There are still quite a few Marines out there, but these Roaches, the good Widow Mine shot, SCV's being pulled. I guess Illusion will clean this up, but at what cost, Nate?
At what cost is a very good question, Kev. The Marauder coming out adds a lot of punch to this defensive force.
These Roaches not die.
Yeah, man, 1-1 Roaches are really scary. I don't think there's any build that Terran players hate more in the whole game of StarCraft 2 than this.
Wow.
Maybe Blinkstalker all-ins on like Heavy Rain.
Man, the roaches just do not stop. There are still 19 roaches on the map against only 10 Marines and 1 Marauder now. I really thought that Illusion was going to be able to clean this up, especially with the surround on those SCVs. He does have Stim now, so that's the start. But like you said, there is still no starport on the map. This command center is not an orbital command either, so it's not like he's able to drop 3 Muse at a time.
Dude, this roach train is not stopping. Continually going down the map. Illusions dropped to 63 supply, and you know, you put it a very good way. It looked like he was going to be able to stop him. Sometimes I get that feeling when I face this, but it is such a good build. And TooDming, we know his macro is impeccable. There's going to be an endless stream of roaches. If this game could go on for 30 minutes and there would never stop being roaches moving across this map for one moment, TooDming is going to march up this ramp and he's going to say, hey, I want to be the first non-Korean to make it to round of 16 for WCS America Premier League, and so he shall. GG is called, and TooDming advances on.
Convincing display of skill there by TooDming. It felt like he was never really on the ropes in that series. Defeated Illusion twice today. 2 times it was a 2-0 result, so it's safe to say that he deserved that. He even came very close to defeating Alicia as well. Overall, a very solid performance by TooDming, and he's continuing what he did last season, and is making a little bit of a name for himself and collecting paychecks, collecting WCS points, and perhaps he can go further than last season. He was pretty close to making it into the round of 8, and this could very well be his season.
Yeah, really good play out of TooDming. And, you know, Roddy, I think once again, we've seen 2 round of 16 players from last season move on again to the round of 16. The trend that you've predicted has come true. Of course, this is a summary for our whole group. Alicia breezing through his opponents, Hendralisk and TooDming, to get out of this group after a crazy series. And I'd say that crazy last game on Frost against TooDming is definitely worth going back to look at.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun. We definitely had a fun broadcast today. I think we had a lot of funny moments, a lot of fun games. I think Illusion played very well in game 2 and 3 against Hendralisk. It's unfortunate for Hendralisk that he wasn't really able to show how much he probably has practiced for this, because he was very vocal about it as well. But he still played a good WCS season, in my opinion. He was able to make it to Premier League, which is impressive on his own. He qualified for Challenger. He defeated Scarlet in the Challenger as well. So still a lot of love to Hendralisk as well. Unfortunately, today wasn't his day. But I'm excited, Nate. I'm excited to see TooDming and Alicia make that journey to Southern California, and of course they will be joined by many of the other guys that already made it. Let's just take a look at all the players that already qualified for WCS America round of 16. As you guys can see on the top side of the grid, or top side of the graphic, excuse me, we had Revival and Big Baby, Bomber and Nesty, Oz and Violet, and of course Stasia and Czech as well. You know, if this trend continues, Nate, top side of the groups,
That's a scary trend, man.
One Premier, one non-Premier. At the bottom it's going to be Premier League and Premier League only. That would mean that tomorrow, what a group we have tomorrow, Nate. This is a very exciting group. It's going to be Bolt, Maxet, Major, and
Courage.
My eyes are not good enough. It's Courage. That's right. That's a really exciting Zerg player, so he's also a lot of fun. I think tomorrow is actually one of the cooler groups. Yeah, I always enjoy casting Maxet because he's such crazy protos. And Maxet is also on a really impressive streak of just making it into round of 16 season after season. He started last year in season 2, made it in season 3, made it last season. He would make it again. That would be a 4 in a row for Maxet. Even made round of 8 as well a couple of times. And of course on Wednesday we have one more group to play with Arthur and Jigua, Zen and Suppy. Yay, Suppy. Yay. It's going to be a lot of fun.
2 groups left for the round of 32 of WCS America Premier, and I agree with you. Tomorrow's group does look fantastic. We've got twice as many Terranas in this group, and of course, fan favorite Polt competing is always a treat to see. If you say, hey, I like these players in the round of 16, these are the guys that I think have a chance to move on, check out our WCS Fantasy League. You can go to fantasy.eslgaming.com/SC2. Fantasy Pro League's not enough. Get your favorite players, too, from each region. Earn points based on how far they'll go through the playoffs, and it's, of course, gauged on their real performance. And, well, you can compare yourself to your friends. You can say, hey, I know more about StarCraft than you, Kev, because I picked Todd, and it turns out he went to the grand finals.
We'll see about that in a couple of weeks. Le Todd. I picked Snoot.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick at all.
I think I like my team a little more on paper. Sorry, Johan, if you're watching. I apologize. But, you know, Snoot Todd. You know, if it was a real skill, it would definitely be like this. But just kidding, Todd. Just kidding. Either way, Nate, I think this was another day of fun StarCraft action in WCS America Premier League. Of course, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I hope that you guys will be back tomorrow as well when we are going to do Group H. That I believe it was Polt, Maxat, Courage, and
Major.
Juanito. That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun. So of course, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's noon. No, that's 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's of course midnight European time. I think that's about it, Nate. That does it for today. Do you have any famous last words?
No, hopefully not. Hopefully no famous last words today. Just thanks you guys so much for tuning in. Hope we can see you tomorrow for some more awesome Terran action, and let us know how successful your +1 mothership core timings go today.
Exactly. Hashtag WCS. We want to hear all about those builds. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a lovely evening.